The Scientist by Coldplay is a great song, and there's stuff that we can take from this song, that we can learn from this song, that we can use from this song to incorporate in our own songwriting. I'm playing this with a capo on the 5th fret, so it's going from the 6th chord as a minor 7, to the 4 chord, to the 1 chord, to the 1 chord as a sus2. Now that just sounds so gorgeous, but we're going to come to that in just a moment. And I've made a video with everything that you need to know about sus2 chords, so I'll link that in the top corner. Two things that I really want to talk about that have interested me is how they've used the chord progression to subvert the listener's expectations. Expectations that the listeners probably don't even realise they have, and how the vocal melody and the chord progression just fit together so beautifully. The melody notes in this tie in perfectly with each of the chords as they go past. So this A minor 7, he sings this note, this seventh interval, this minor 7th of this first chord. Da, 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 da. That sounds so good with this chord because it's a character note of the chord. Adding the 7th in there gives the chord a little bit more to it. There's more information, and the fact that he's highlighting that note in the melody just makes it sound really sweet. Then he repeats the melody again over this F chord. Now there isn't as many common tones. The first note's the same, da, 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 and he lands on this note. Now this is the major 7th of the 4 chord. Now I'm not sure if he's playing this chord as a major 7th or not, but the fact that he sings this note, da, 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 kind of brings it together to make it have a major 7th sound. Now major 7th chords have kind of a warm kind of feeling to them, which again adds to this melody and makes it sound so sweet. Then when he does the same melody again, but this time on the 1 chord, there's quite a lot of common tones between these two. Da, 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 da. This G note has been present throughout the entire melody. Da, da. And when he comes to this last chord, that note is actually the note we're adding to this 1 chord. It's the sus2. But he also changes the melody on this last time when he hits the sus2 to really make it stand out. It goes dun, dun, dun. That's sus2. And it just sounds so nice. It's like the melody and the chord progression live together. So he starts the song with the melody and the chords. And every time I play this chord progression, I almost hear that melody in my head. Da, 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 da. And that sus chord is just a perfect addition to this chord progression, and that's something I'm definitely going to take from this. I'm going to use these things to create my own chord progression. I want you guys to use this chord progression, write your own song with it, so get the chord charts for free from the link in the description box. The other thing that I want to take from this is subverting the listener's expectations. Expectations they don't even realise they have. And one of the things that I really want to highlight here and take from this song is really subtle. The chord progression of this song is really interesting and really beautiful, but it is actually really common. It's just the 4 chords of pop. It's what we call the axis progression. I've made a video all about the axis progression. Check it out in the top corner. The axis progression is a chord progression that we hear all the time in popular music. It's just the 1, 5, 6, 4. And you can play what we call the minor variation of it. It's the 6th chord, going to the 4 chord, going to the 1 chord. This chord progression feels like it wants to go to the 5 chord, but doesn't go to the 5 chord. People don't even realise it's not gone to the 5 chord because it sounds so good. The fact that they haven't used the 5 chord in the verse is really subtle and it's really effective. They're building up to the payoff of the 5 chord. And the way they're doing that in the choruses, they're going from the 4 chord da, 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 to the 1 chord. Now you might think, oh, they could go to the 5 chord now, which they could, but they're not. They're using the sus2 again because that sus2 change sounded so good. Why not use it again? And then they repeat the 4 chord to the 1 chord to the sus2, and then we finally hear the 5 chord with that, which now, because we haven't used it yet, I mean, I think it's 1 minute 20 in the song where we finally hear it, which adds that suspense. It's like it's built up to that moment, and then we hear that chord. Going back to the start. So in my chord progression, I want to utilize these two things. So the idea of this is to take these things that you learn from the songs you like and incorporate those ideas into things that you create and add your own spin to it. Eventually you'll learn about how to use those things yourself. Now the first thing I talked about was how the chord progression and the melody interlock. I've decided to change the capo position to the 2nd fret. I want to give you some notes in there that you can really try and highlight in whatever melodies you might want to come up with. So I've really leaned into this idea of the sus chords because I think that just sounds really nice. And even if you just sang just the major third to the sus, it's going to sound really sweet. So da, 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 da. So the chord progression is going from the 1 chord. So I'm seeing this as a C major. Again, I know it's a capo, it's a D major, but I'm just going to say it's a C major for the sake of it being easy. C major shape, C sus2. And again, F, F sus2. Same again. Back to C, C sus2. This time only once. To A minor 7, A minor, F, F sus2. Back to the C, C sus2. And it starts again. I have seen this chord progression as being kind of like the A section, or you might call it the verse section, so you could write a verse with this part. And then I'm going to go into a B section or a chorus section. I wanted this to start on this A minor 7 chord. I just really like the sound of that change. So to help lead us into that change, the last time I played this chord progression, so however many times you want to do it, I've utilised, instead of going from the sus2, I'm utilising the drop to that C/B. It just sounds really nice. So if I go from the 2 bars before, so F, F sus2, C, C/B, goes into that A minor, just really satisfying change into this next section. There's been plenty of places in this chord progression where I could have gone to the 5 chord, but I haven't done, because that's the chord I now want to use as kind of like the climax in this B section. So this B section, or the chorus, is A minor 7 to the F. So that's 6 chord to 4 chord, F to F sus2 again. I can do that as many times as I want. But then it builds up to the G chord, this 5 chord. And that is where we're building towards. Now, a little side note, something that I just like to add to these kind of things, I really like the sound of adding this C note to a G chord shape, because it's turned into like a G11 sound. It just sounds really nice. So this B section, this G will lead us perfectly back to the beginning. Hopefully that's given you some new tools to add to your songwriting toolbox. Their use of sus chords is fantastic, and I've got a video with everything that you need to know about sus chords. I'll see you over there.